Hello everyone, myself Prakash Subramanian, a Srividya Upasak. Yesterday I shared with you about my spiritual journey part 1. Today I am here to share about the part 2 of my spiritual journey. So in 2003, after discharging my wife from the hospital, right, after a few months, I had an opportunity to visit Tirukadayur, which is also called as a Markandeya Kshetra. So over there I have a subtle darshan of the mother, something I never expected. Okay, so what happened was I was leading a different life, and I was not prepared to take up spirituality. At the most maximum I was 27 or 28 years of age, and I had a lot of things to accomplish in my family life. So I don't know what to do. Typically, in our system, people take up spirituality or pursue the spiritual life post their retirement. Okay, so I don't know whether I had to retire at 28 or 27 or 28, or I don't know what. I had a lot of hesitation since I wasn't prepared for it. So, and very importantly, spirituality being, if I need to take up certain things, I have to follow rigorous ritualistic process, which I wasn't comfortable. Mind you, let me again tell you, I have not studied the Shastras. I have not studied the Vedas. Okay? Or any other Puranas, nothing. Nothing. Even Sandhya Vandana, I wasn't used to doing it regularly at that point of time. So, I do it maybe once a while, but not the regular way of doing Sandhya Vandana. So then, I was not prepared. So I just, said, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not for it. I started running away. See what kind of a fool I am. I rejected. Okay. So after I came to Bangalore, I was actually looking out for, so over there at Tirukadayur, mother gave me a subtle darshan, which was very rare. But I ran away. So after coming to Bangalore, there's a particular slokam in Narayaniam, which is called Ashmin Paratman Anupatma Kalpe Tommida Muddapida Padmayoni Anantabhuma Mamaroga Rashim Nirinti Vatale Vasa Vishnu. If you chant this, it is as good as saying the entire Narayaniam. And my wife had some health issues, so I had to chant this. So those days we did not have a great internet connection, or we were not in a great technological world. Right? Because even a small dial-up connection those days was considered to be supreme. So somehow, with whatever internet available, I was just, trying to get information about Narayaniam. So immediately there was one page which popped up, which was Mother's Yantra. I said, okay, thank you very much, but still, I can't and I won't. Thank you very much. And I started looking at other things. Trust me, she put things, she frustrated me so much that I decided enough is enough. I'm just going to end my life, because on one side, there was too much of pressure on me. Particularly financial pressure was very embarrassing. I took money from others, so I had to repay. And for me, my focus was on Laukika, not divine. So I, just said nothing doing. I have to focus on work. So, here again, see what kind of a fool I am. And then somebody said, you must do a particular puja. So I was running short of money. I have asked the Purohits to come, but I was running short of money. I asked some of my friends, I have some of my relations, but unfortunately nobody was able to help me out at that point of time. I was wearing a diamond ring and a pearl ring. I sold it. Chalo, let's see what happens. Mother is there, right? So let me go for it. So I sold it. I did the puja. So, slightly there was little bit of improvement subsequently. All the while, all these things were happening on the parallel side, where I was forced to take it up, but I was resisting because of, it's entirely unknown area for me, right? So then slowly I started doing this, but yeah, not that much, but yeah, little bit. Then, one day at that point of time, I was not entirely into chanting mantras or anything. Just somebody says, okay, you do this puja, you go to this temple, I will do it. No second question at all. So that's how I went ahead and did this. I sold my ring. I went ahead and I did the puja. This went on and on and on and on for some time. Again, no respite from my sufferings, nothing. So one day, it went to a flashpoint where I decided, okay, I'm going to end my life. I just couldn't take it anymore. But again, she came. There was one flash of light, and then things changed drastically. No looking back subsequently. But I told her, look, I wasn't prepared. I do not know anything. I do not know the nyasas or karanyasas or anything, right? How do you expect me to chant your mantras when I don't know? She said, look, you surrender yourself to me and I am there to take care. I never asked you for a particular way. You just do what I ask you to do. And then she wrote something on my tongue, and then no looking back in life. This went on. Fantastic. I was feeling very happy, right? After a few months, if I'm right, my daughter was not well. So we took her to a nearby doctor who pressed the panic button. Look, she's not well, she has to be given oxygen, this, that, all kind of things. I was just, what is she talking, right? So she recommended a specific hospital. Then I said, okay, look, either way, I have to take her out. Let me take her to a decent hospital where there are facilities available. So I was driving my two-wheeler, and there was my wife, my daughter, and my sister-in-law. Right? They were in an auto. So normally, when you tell auto guy to go fast, you know how he drives. So hospital, etc., he was zoom. I somehow went ahead of all of them, and thank God I was having a mobile phone at that time. So there is this place called Jakur near Yelahanka. Right? At that time, the national highway, it was a single way at that time. So the highway was on expansion spree. So I was staying at Alala Sandra, and this doctor was near the police station, Yelahanka police station. So at Jakur, the auto guy was zooming very fast, and in between, it was pitch dark in the evening, around 7:30 or so, it was pitch dark, right? So all of a sudden, a two-wheeler or somebody came, so the auto guy applied a brake, auto turned upside down, wife suffered a fracture exactly over here. Inch here, I don't know, God has to, anyway, so now I understood why mother was asking me to come and surrender at her feet, right? See, we are all programmed to know that, okay, I need to know from year to year what is my journey, what is my step 1, step 2, step 3. So even I was also, from that particular mindset, because I do not know what, it's an entirely unknown area, right? And I'm the only person in my family who had taken up spirituality. Right now, if you see, I'm born with one elder brother who is elder to me by 11 years. I have one elder sister, 8 years elder to me, and then my second sister who is 3 to 4 years elder to me. So, I'm the only one who had taken up spirituality at that time. So there was nobody in front of me to whom I could look up to and model, right? My father was, somebody like, okay, he goes to God, he does the Nevedya, he does everything, but not entirely like, having the kind of experience I have had in my life, right? So that is the reason why I was resisting. But, mother said complete surrender. So from this particular incident, I decided, okay, complete surrender. Just imagine, national highway, right? Peak hour in the evening, okay? Peak hour in the evening. The amount of vehicles that comes and goes and so on, right? Despite that, that day, at that particular moment, there were hardly any vehicles. Hats off. Thank God for that, right? Otherwise, I do not know. Over and above that accident, something else could have happened. But in God's grace, my wife was saved, and so is my daughter and my sister-in-law. So, from that time onwards, I decided, okay, no further questioning. Amma, I am sorry. Please forgive me and accept my forgiveness. Surrender at your feet completely. So with complete surrender, I decided to proceed with my new life. Even though I was not that prepared, I decided still I will proceed. I did not understand why she came to me. I did not understand why she gave me her darshan. Nothing but complete surrender. So this went on for a few months. With her grace, my entire family got saved. Then after a few days or a few months, His Holiness Pujya Shri Periva, Pujya Shri Sri 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 Shankara Jayendra Saraswati Swamiji and Pujya Shri Sri 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 Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamiji came to my wife's uncle's house, and they stayed for close to a week. So I had an opportunity to meet His Holiness from a very closest quarters. I had a private discussion with him. I explained to him what I was going through, and I told him, certain experiences which I had. He said, go ahead, my blessings are always there for you. It was like a highest bench of the Supreme Court giving a verdict. The same was also reiterated by His Holiness Pujya Shri Periva of Sringeri Math. I mean, highest bench in the Supreme Court, like that. So no looking back in what I have to do and so on. Then I was prepared, that is the beauty. So I was exposed to what is energy, how to tap the higher energy, right? And then I was asked to learn Reiki, then pranic healing, and then advanced pranic healing, and pranic psychic self-defense. Plenty of other healing modalities I learned, right? I also learned a lot about mudras, how to use mudras, because as I said, there is no guru for me in a physical form at that point of time, though His Holiness Periva was always there whenever I knocked at the doors of the mutt. Even otherwise, Periva is always there for me, just that I couldn't feel his presence at that point of time, right? So he was always there. He was my guiding force. The way I was prepared to handle various things, the way I was prepared to for various energies, how I was exposed to various energies, how I was exposed to various subtle frequencies, everything was something miraculous. And then I was doing a lot of temple run. If somebody says, okay, you go to this particular temple, things there is something for you in this particular temple, no second thoughts, no second questions, straight away start going there. So this went on up till about 2008. I was doing some meager works to earn a livelihood, but deep inside me something was telling, this is not your identity, this is not what you are. I was not feeling that wholeness, right? In any work that you do, your heart has to be involved. Otherwise, there's no point in following that, right? So I had gone to Mumbai. Let me again tell you, I have, during my teenage days, I asked for unconditional forgiveness to all the Mahants, all the saints. Because, in the teenage psychology, I had also said certain words. So like Sai Baba, I had, literally told certain things for which I am asking for a public apology to him. So one day when I was there in Mumbai, one of my, I was there to attend a course. So one of the girl who was there as a participant, she said, look, I'm going there to Shirdi tomorrow. I booked a bus ticket and so on. So then I said, I also expressed my interest in saying, look, I would also like to join with you. Let me know how we can go together and come, because my problem is I do not know Hindi, right? So she said, okay, we will book. I'll cancel the ticket. I'll book a cab and I'll come with you. It was very nice of her. It was like, Mother Divine accompanying me, to meet Baba. So we went there. We had a fantastic darshan of Baba. Again, I do not know anything. I do not know what is the story of Baba. Nothing but blind surrender at his feet. No wonder he is my best friend today. Okay, like he's a best friend for everyone. He's also a best friend for me. So after that, I came back to Mumbai and then I came to Bangalore. Things, my struggles with respect to my finances or anything, it reduced, but I wouldn't say drastically. But yeah, it gave me that confidence that yes, I can handle certain things. Okay. So 2008 end, I planned to go to Delhi for some assignment. I just had 4,500 rupees with me. A drawback that I couldn't speak Hindi, right? I had to stay there for close to a month. Being in a place like Delhi with 4,500 rupees is a disaster because the cost of living is very high over there. Somehow, I was able to speak to somebody in the Mutt and spoke to somebody in Delhi Kanchi Mutt. I requested the gentleman, if you could give me a small space where I can keep my bag, I can, sleep during the night. I did not expect anything extraordinary. Just this much is sufficient for me. At that time, the temple renovation work was happening. So the person said, look, the temple renovation work is happening. I said, Mama, I can understand, but I just need a small space. Other than that, I do not need anything else. He said, okay, if you're not having any great expectations about the place and, you just need a place to sleep, you can come. It was really nice of the Mutt to have provided me with a space. But before I travel, I have to travel tomorrow. Day prior, I go there and book a ticket in Tatkal. One Mr. A.S. De Silva, he was a CBI officer, but he was attached to railway security. He was very helpful and very supportive. And I again, thank him for the support he has offered me. Then I spoke to my brother who said, don't go to Delhi because it was the end of November and, I had to stay there for close to a month. So my brother advised me not to go because it would be very cold and it would be very difficult for you to handle that particular situation. But I just, closed my eyes. I just saw Mother and me. I asked her, what should I do? I trusted my intuition. I trusted my heart. I followed my heart. Mother said, don't worry. If you are feeling cold, I will, hold you tight. You don't need to worry. One side, my brother discouraging, and on the other side, Mother says, proceed. So, heart, mind, what to follow? What do you think I would have done? Yes, you're right. I followed my heart. I continued with my journey. So, when we were somewhere near Itarsi or something in Madhya Pradesh, we heard the news about the Mumbai problems and so on at that particular time period. Somehow, I managed to reach Delhi. No hassles at all. So, we reached Delhi. My brother gave me a contact of a taxi driver. Unfortunately, he had to come from Noida and I don't know. I do not know the topography of Delhi because during my childhood days or after I have grown up and started working, I have never traveled beyond south. So Delhi, the journey was very first and very new for me. So after I reached Delhi, the taxi guy swindled 500 rupees. So out of 4,500 rupees, 500 rupees gone. Govinda, Govinda. I just had 4,000 rupees with me. What should I do? Started firing Mother Divine. Look, is this the way you take care of me? You told me, you will take care of this, you will do that, you will do this. Is this the way you take care? I started firing her left, right and center. She was just standing in front of me and just doing nothing but smiling. I never knew what that smile was and what it was meant for, right? So the with 4,000 rupees, I do not know what to do. Somehow I managed to handle it. The next day, I had a miraculous experience. Maybe she laughed because I'm going to experience a miracle. I was there in Delhi Kanchi Math. You have the Sannadhi of Lord Ganesh, and then Kanchi Kamakshi, and then Bhagavad Pada's Sannadhi. So I was just standing in front of Lord Ganesh. I had a beautiful subtle darshan of Lord Ganesh. And there was one light which was coming from the Lord towards me and my third eye. I was wondering, what is this now? Because as I said, like I've never been exposed to anything like this earlier, right? So it was completely new, but I was feeling somewhat completely blissful, not somewhat, completely blissful. I was just crying. And I saw that light coming. It was like kind of green. I do not know how to say that, but yeah, it was, this color green, right? It was this color green, maybe a little lighter, okay? That light was coming and hitting my third eye. It was beautiful, blissful, right? And subsequently, during the day, I was, sitting there and doing some meditations. I had a darshan of Jesus. I was just wondering, what? I'm born in a Brahminical family, a typical Orthodox South Indian Brahminical family. And, how come, Jesus is coming and giving me a darshan? Though I was born in a Christian hospital, St. Thomas Hospital in Chennai, St. Thomas Mount Chennai, right? Studied in a Christian school till 5th and 6th and 7th was at RKM, Ramakrishna Mission Higher Secondary School, Main at Panagal Park, T Nagar. And then 6th, 8th, 9th and 10th at St. Joseph's. 11th and 12th at J. Gopal Garudia National Higher Secondary School. So like, how come, a God how can I get his darshan when, I pray to a different God? It was a message for me. You should never be judgmental. Beyond a particular level, you have gone beyond that particular realm of the physical world. So now don't be judgmental. You will get miraculous experiences like this. So, be open and receptive. So from that day, I made it a point that I will not criticize or I will not be judgmental in any of my views. If you look at my Facebook page or in my LinkedIn page, even though there are many who speak about so many things, I don't react, right? Because this is a lesson for me. So my anava, ahambhava, right? The ego or whatever you want to call it, that was shattered and broken to pieces by God's grace. And then I had miraculous darshans of various siddhas and rishis. I was able to tap, their frequencies, their energies and so on. So like completely miraculous, right? I mean, imagine from a world like this to a completely different world. It was a phenomenal experience. And I made it very clear that I did not have huge amount of money with me. You know what? In the morning, the breakfast for me was the Naivedyam which is done to Mother Divine. That is what I was given. So, thank God, she gave me a place, which is unimaginable. Who will get this bhagya? Whether it is sweet pongal or kara pongal or vada or anything which is offered to her as Naivedya, I used to get that. And then I carry on with my work, and then in the night when I come back, again food was whatever is offered to her was offered to me. I do not know who went and told the cook at that time in the mud. After my dinner, I used to drink, buttermilk or curd mixed with asafoetida. This guy brought in that and, offered me. I was, shocked. All in her grace. And I was given a place where I can sleep very close to her. Her Sannadhi. Who will get this bhagya? I mean, if I had gone to some 5-star hotels, I would have enjoyed that luxury, but I would have never got this kind of an experience. Right? So that was again another beautiful experience for me. Now, when it comes to the money part, she was smiling. I was told you will be meeting somebody, and that somebody has this particular problem. This is how you should guide. This is how you can charge. This is the amount you charge for her. All that was given to me. I was just, okay, fine. I mean, this was my first experience also. So, like, I do not know how to react, whether it is going to be happening, or I have a lot of, see, somebody who has been prepared in a different way, who has been conditioned, whose mind is conditioned in a different way. It was a totally new experience for me. So, like the same way, I met this particular person, and I had told, okay, the person came and asked me for a way, guided, and had handful of money. So from a point of just 4,000 rupees, I had loads of money with me. This is again another experience for me with mother. And of course, from there, I always wanted to go to Haridwar and Rishikesh. See how that is. But I don't know how to do, what to do. I had no clue. So somehow again, with blind trust, I just spoke to somebody who was known to me, and is this what it is? Don't worry. Immediately picked up the phone. Ha bhai, and something they spoke in Hindi. Said, look, there is somebody who was willing to go there. Now you have to give him a good rate. Trust me, I had a beautiful discount to travel and come back, and everything else was taken care of. Very nice journey, beautiful, very nicely respected, and had a great darshan there, a great time there at Haridwar and Rishikesh. Had a beautiful snan at Ganga, and then had a miraculous experience there also. The moment I land over there, the first place we visited was Lakshman Lota. Had a darshan of Lord Lakshman. I did not know what was in store for me at that time. Then came back to Delhi, and then back to Bangalore. There are many more things to share that I wanted to share. So wait for me for my part 3. Stay tuned. So tomorrow I will be sharing even more bigger experiences of me with mother. This is only till 2008, so another 12 more years to go, right? So don't go away, stay tuned. Wait for my next video, right? Thank you.